How do you spot a fake news story or disinformation story? What are the major signs of such story?
The best clues to fake news are not in the content but in the source, because fake news is really just bad journalism, and you can easily have bad journalism coming from a reputable source that's made a mistake. So the trick is this website, is this news outlet real? Does it have real people working for it? Has it tried to conceal its registration data on the internet? Does it have a street address? Does it exist in the real world? And if the answer to those questions is no, then you can say that this is a fake news site, regardless of what it's actually putting out.
This means you need an active consumer of the news. Are people ready to be active consumers, and how do you make them to be more active?
I think people need to be more active, just as we choose about what we eat. We should also be selective about what we read. But I think there's also, in the supply chain of information, there are also the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Google, and I think they have a bigger responsibility than they've realised to identify what sort of sites they're directing people to. They already do quite a good job in deterring people and warning people from going to sites that have malware. I think they should also say, this site has no real owner, no real people, no real street address. Proceed if you want to, but don't treat it as if it was the BBC or the Economist. People trust less and less the serious media. How can we journalists make people trust us more again? I mean, you're right that journalism depends on trust. Our sources have got to trust us so that they tell us things, and our readers have got to trust us so that they believe what we write. And trust is going down, there's no doubt about it, and that's a big social problem. We can do our bit to restore trust, I think chiefly in being honest about our mistakes. And to me, the real hallmark of good journalism is not so much do you check your facts scrupulously, do you get all your millions and billions and trillions the right way around, and this sort of thing. It's what you do when you make a mistake. And if you are really upfront and you publish a correction, a clarification, an apology, you have letters to the editor, and you deal seriously and soberly and conscientiously with your mistakes, then I think that is a really important, that's really a hallmark of good journalism.
Last question. Is there a future for serious journalism?
You're sitting in the future of serious journalism. The Economist is selling more copies than we've ever sold. Our profits are going up. We have more staff than we've ever had. Our readers are really happy. I'm absolutely convinced that at least in the big language groups, there's a future for serious upmarket journalism that really tries to inform and explain, and sometimes even also to entertain, which is